we're going to review an application called PyGai or Guy. Before we begin, I'll just let you know that every day I host a live stream. Visit ojambo.com for details. You go to the watch menu here, then live sub menu, then you can see the current live stream with the approximate date and time and the channel, and you can see the ones which future ones as well. And for each of those ones here in this menu, there will be a little snippet here. It will tell you the exact date and approximate time. It's always Eastern, and allows you to ask questions on live chat about programming and obviously lifestyle related to programming. And of course, you can, if you want to ask questions, you can click the link. For example, this one is on YouTube. Or if you don't want to do that, you just want to watch, there's an embedded video lower down in this article. So, GAI stands for Generative AI Tools for Beginner, and there's also basically, I guess, two applications. There's PyGai, which is the Python Generated AI connector. So there's a GitHub description, which we'll go to in a second. And actually, let's go to it right now. So as you can see here, you can get this on Python. You see it's PyGai, and then the description is down here. You can see it explains what these tools can do. Now, you see here they do have a introductory tutorial, and there is a user guide. However, you will notice something very different is if we just control down here, it says GAI apps and the Py extension suite are cross-platform systems developed using a mixed programming approach. Multilingual documentation is coming soon, so be aware of that. For example, if we go to introductory tutorial, although it says English there, getting started, you see it's actually not in English. So I said just wait until we're able to get the translations. For example, here's a user tutorial as well. If we go here to this site, again, you see it's not in English, other languages, but as the author said that he's working on the multilingual, and you believe him, and I'll prove to you why soon when we actually start the application. So for this test, I wanted to be fair. This is why I haven't done something like this before, because I wanted to gather some common things that I want, which will make me be a believer in AI. So this has been decades coming up with these solutions, and I said I've been testing some other other AI solutions, and this is what I've come up with. So I've come up with 5 very simple requests. So the first one, which I ask, is who is the mayor of a major city? Okay, and then I'm going to request a PHP code snippet just to connect to a MySQL database, and I'm going to request a 1080p screenshot of a popular desktop environment, and I'm going to request Kotlin code snippet to open the camera using a specific API, and I'm also going to ask it to create a blend file for a specific animation. So the reason I'm doing this is because these are things which are very simple, and you don't have to take my word from it. You'll be able to judge by yourself if the answers are accurate or good enough. So basically, this is not going to be a command line. It's actually a text-based AI, but that is not a problem. Also, most of them are called chatbots. If you don't know what a chatbot is, I have a glossary here. That's an AI chat that writes text and writes stories, messages, and programming code. So I'm more interested, obviously, in the writing stories and the programming code, because I have actually had some people tell me that they're going to replace people like me who are programmers by AI. So that's why I want to just give it some simple to see how accurate it's going to be. And then there's something called a conversational AI that simulates human conversation. I'm not too keen on that. I don't really care about that. Okay, so just to be fair, here's my system I'll be using for testing. So the CPU, it's an Intel i7 2600.
Memory is 16 gig of DDR3 RAM. Operating system using Fedora Linux workstation 42. That's obviously desktop is GNOME 48. So to follow along with this tutorial, you need some type of text editor just so you'll be able to view the code or compare it. So I recommend something like Apache NetBeans. I know it's a little bit overkill. You can also use Guinea. I've done reviews of them. If you're gonna do command line stuff, obviously some type of SSH, secure shell client. This is just an example. I'm not recommending it, but OpenSSH, that's one I use. And the shell access just means a terminal. Okay, so these are the results here. We'll actually go and ask these questions ourselves. So maybe we'll come back to this. So down here after the screenshots, you can see that, where is the screenshot? So the video down here. So this is a video. So if you want to watch live without chatting, you can watch the embedded video. So before we head over to the guy, I just want to let you know that the guy is obviously can be downloaded, where you can download. So I have a link here, and obviously because it uses Python, I'm going to assume Python needs to be also downloaded. So I have a link here where you can get Python itself. So everything today is open source. The license for Guy is down here. It's actually licensed under GNU Public License version 3. So you actually go back here. I think they usually you put a license here somewhere. Yeah, here. See, it's the GPL 3 license. All right. So enough of me yapping. So let's go and take a look. I'm going to open up the application. So GAI. I'm going to open it up. And here's the application's opened up. I'm gonna, let me minimize this. So see if I can maximize it. See, the problem when I maximize it is it stretches the screen. So I don't know if you guys can see this. So I think I'll leave it in the default window view. So that way you can see what it's typing. So when you first open up this app, you get this, I guess the home screen, and it says hello world, and then it explains what hello world here. Now then you can see there's an icon here. It says generate text from text only input. That's what we're going to do. And then there's here it says build multi-turn conversations. That's not for today's purpose. And it says generate text from generate text from text and file input. We're not going to touch on that today. And then you see it says you can have a cron job scheduler and logger. We're not going to take care of that. In the menu, you can register, you have count, you have settings. So let's go to settings here. You see the language. Obviously detected my language is English. And the font family, I'm not able to do anything here, neither night mode. So I'm guessing maybe these are features which are not available yet. Okay, then you go back to the home page. If we go to register, it says when you register or log in using your communications, please provide. So I don't need to log in. I'm not going to log in. And let's see, sign up. So you can sign up here. I'm not going to sign up. And you can forget it's verified by email. So let's go to help here. It goes to that same site as before, and as you can see here, it's hard for me to understand because of the language. So that's one of the problems. If you see, it says here EN, but I don't know. Anyways, so the only thing I can test for this app is obviously just the output from the text. Okay, so let's start. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in who is the mayor of Toronto. So it says the current mayor of Toronto is Olivia Chow. This is true. So why did I ask this question? Well, during the lockdown, about half a decade ago or so, the mayor of Toronto stepped down because he was caught with his mistress, even though he was telling everybody else to, stay home, don't visit your family and friends. So one of the questions I would ask an AI is a simple question like this. None of the AIs at that time answered the question correctly because they would say, oh, the mayor of Toronto is elected for a 4-year term. That's not, I said, who is the mayor of Toronto? So this question is answered correctly. And here's another reason. I asked Toronto because obviously Toronto is a major city in North America. However, there are other places called Toronto. For example, I believe there's a place in California, Toronto. I think they also have a mayor. The point is, so it doesn't exactly know which Toronto I'm talking to, but I that's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. Maybe it detected that I'm in Canada and then Toronto must mean Ontario or something. I don't know. But I'm saying is that I'm going to give this one, 100%. It answered the question accurately. Okay, so next. I was actually impressed that it got it correctly and it didn't, you see, it just answered the question. It didn't put any extra nonsense there. So the next thing I'm going to ask it is, I was thinking, hey, I'm a programmer. Let me ask you to do some code. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say, I need a PHP code snippet to connect to a MySQL database, period. Database. Okay, so let's see what it says. So when it did this, I'm thinking, oh, it just gave up, right? There's no indication that something's happened. Oh, it gave us some results. Actually, it's much faster than when I tested the first time. So, and then what I like about this is it explains it. It says the code is thoroughly commented to explain each step. Connection credentials, uses variables for the host, username, password, and database. This makes the code easier to configure with different environments. That's very good. Crucially, you must replace the placeholder values, e.g. your username with your actual database connection. This is very good. This is where the errors usually happen. That's also correct. Then it says it's going to use the MySQL extension. This is actually very good because even to this day, in 2025, time of this recording, if you actually ask this type of questions in search engines or whatever, you'll get some results which will be from the old PHP 4 days, which PHP, the MySQL connection, is no longer supported in PHP 8 and 8 and above. So this is actually correct. It's using the MySQL, the improved connection. That's correct. Then it also has the connection error handling. That's also very good, and has the die, and then it's successful. So basically, it explains this very well, and then it shows you how to use the code. It tells you that you should save, even recommends saving the code as connect_db.php, and then it shows, oh, this is actually very good. I didn't see this the first time. It actually tells how to prevent SQL injections. For example, when you're doing a select, it explains, oh, wow, this is actually really, really good, and recommends using SSL or TLS connection. So this is actually very impressive. I've never seen this part before. We'll come back to this in a second, but let's just grab this code here. I'm just going to copy it. Okay, this is the thing I said I don't want to. Okay, there we go. I think I can copy that. And then I have a folder here created for, you see, it's called Generative-AI. So I'll create another folder in there, and I'll call that one PyGai. And I'll go inside here and open up the terminal. We're going to test the code. So what I'll do is clear here. I'll do a touch. I can't remember. What did it suggest I called the file? Oh, connect_db. Okay, there we go. So connect_db.php. Okay, so that's what I would do. And I'm just going to copy the code in there. And let's take a look at the code. I should be able to zoom in here. So let's look at the code here. So, database credentials, your local host, that's correct. Your username, password, database. This looks all great, correct? This looks pretty good. Echo connected successfully, then select version, connect, MySQL version. Oh, this actually looks pretty good. It's actually a different answer from when I tested this days ago. So before we run this, I'm going to go back to the web browser, and I'm going to make sure that I can connect to the database itself. Oh, web servers hasn't started. Okay, let me check what's going on here. CTL status HTTPD. Okay, that is running. Status MariaDB. According to this, MariaDB should be running as well. Oh, PHP is not running. Okay, so let's see if PHP FPM is running. System quit system CTL status PHP FPM. It is running. It says error. Oh, cookies. Okay, maybe it doesn't like this browser. I might have to go to a different browser. Let me see what's going on here. Oh yeah, it's a browser thing. It doesn't like this browser. Okay. Okay, I've opened it up here. I can't remember what. Just a second. Let me log in, and I need to log in here. I think I created a database called. Okay, I can't remember if I created a database specific. I guess I did not. I'll create another one. Okay, so I'm gonna create a database here. Where do I go to databases? Okay, so let's. Okay, so go user accounts, and oh yeah, I did create one. It's called Guy. Yeah, I created one called Guy. Okay, so let me log out of here. Log in again. Guy user. Okay, yeah, I'll show you. So I created a database. Let me zoom in a little bit here. So I created a database called Guy, and you see there's a users table here, and it has two rows of data. So this is what we're going to connect to. So go back to our code here. So localhost is fine. The username is Guy. Password is Guy Pass. Database is Guy. Now, so it should connect if we run this. I'm going to run it on the command line. Yeah, so that's fine. So everything is fine there. So let's go to the command line. There's so much stuff going on here. Where's the command line here? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just search PHP connect. And you see it said it connected to the MySQL successfully. And obviously, the reason you see this break line, that's because it's expected to run in the web browser. But that's fine. And then so the version I'm running is actually MariaDB 10.11.11. So that's correct. All right. So let's go back to our AI here. Then it says that you can also use a statement to connect to the database. So let's actually grab this part then. Copy here. And we go to see the MySQL connection is closed. That's not a problem. So what I'll do is, I believe I should be able to dump it here. Yeah. So we're going to select, it's the ID name from users, where user, I don't have a username. I do have, here, let me just change this from, actually, you know what? Let's go here and let's add a new field called username. So I will go to the structure here. we're going to add a one. No, it's going to be after name. No, after ID. So it'll be username. I'll make it a text. And you just hit save. So they see there's username here. So then I go back to here. So for this one here, I'll just say Edward at ojambo show.local, and this one will be Jane at theman.ca, whatever. Okay, so if we go back to our code, so username, and then it says username to search. So I'll say Jane at the man.ca. Okay, so let's go back and run this. Oh, let me make sure I save it first. Run it on the command line. Oh, there's an error. It says there's an error on line 49. Oh, I closed it twice. That's why. There's no need to close it twice. Okay, there we go. Let me run it again. Clear this. Yeah, you see, it found Jane. So this is another 100%, so that AI worked extremely well. Okay, let's go back to the AI. Need to minimize all this windows. Okay. All right, so we'll go back to the AI. And I'm going to ask it a different question. Just a second. Okay, let me minimize this. Get this out of here. Where is the text? Get this out of here too. Okay, so the next question I'm going to ask this AI is, I need a 1080p screenshot of the GNOME desktop environment. So let it run, let it go. Okay, so it gave an answer, and actually this is a way better answer than when I run this the first time. So the answer it gave me is, I can't take a real-time screenshot of the running desktop environment. So this is actually very smart because my desktop environment is actually GNOME. Because I am a text-based AI. However, I can provide you with a link to a high-quality 1080p screenshot of GNOME desktop environment. I'm going to tell you that I thought the answer it gave me previously, the first time I ran this, it only gave me this one line. This time, this is the second time I'm running this AI, gave me a way better answer. It also, because it pointed me to a different, it says you can find suitable images by searching on Google Images or similar image search engine for GNOME desktop 1080p screenshot. Be sure to filter your search to ensure you find an image that meets your needs. That's an amazing answer. Here is an example search to get you started. Okay, so this will lead you to various example screenshots of GNOME. This should help you find the screenshot you're looking for. So I'm going to take this link. Actually, let me just open up in the default web browser. I think it's going to be Firefox. Might double click. Nothing's happening. Or maybe it's just color coded. Okay, I'll just copy it. Okay, it looks like just color coded. Okay. And then I'll go to, I'll use Chromium here, put it in here, and let's see. Okay, so this is a GNOME desktop or Ubuntu Classic 3.2. So I am going to also give this one a, the answer is actually way better than before. I don't know how you get over 100%, but I'll take that as that answered my question. Okay, so let's move on. So I'm going to ask it something that I've actually been working on. I'll say I need a Kotlin code snippet to open the camera using camera 2 API and place the camera view on a texture view. So the reason I'm asking this specific question is because I have already actually done this on Jumbo.com, and while this is running, can let's go back to Jumbo.com here. So if I type in Kotlin here, actually let me open up a new tab because I don't want to close where I am. Go to Jumbo.com, go to the search, and actually I probably even see it right here somewhere. I think it's actually on the second page. I don't have to go to the search. Oh, that's for Java. Here we go. You see, I've already actually done this. See, it's Kotlin Camera 2 API Android development. This one I actually put the camera view on a texture. So if you actually go look at this one, I'm actually putting it, yeah. So you see I already put it right onto the texture view here. Okay, so I'm saying I do have, I've already done it, but I want to see how this AI, so the AI is finished. Let me minimize this. So the AI is finished and it gave me some code. Now what's interesting about the code it gave me is that if we actually go down again and read the its instructions, so it explains it here. It says key improvements and explanations, clear structure, use a dedicated camera 2 helper class. The reason I didn't use a helper class when I did my code was because my code is very simple. I don't want to have multiple classes. I think everything could fit in one class because everything is all related. It's not going to be, complex code. So explains the background threads. That's good. Stopping surface texture listeners. That's actually pretty good. So it explains a whole bunch of stuff. Then it says you can have the main activity here, what you call the camera class. So that's good. And then it will also give us the you see the Gradle KTS, the model app. It tells us what we put in there, and then it explains how you need to ask for camera permission. So this is actually very good. And then define your text review and button in an activity underscore main XML file. So that's very good. Now I'm not sure if this code is different from when I first ran it. So to be fair, I'm going to take this code and I'm going to open up Android Studio and I'm going to copy this code right into it. So I'm not going to make any judgments until we actually run the code. And I'll explain my results in the article compared to this one. Okay, so Android Studio is opened up. It's in a different, so let me just move this out of the way and I will grab the Android Studio. This was the previous one when I tried to run the same thing, but I'm going to actually delete this. And so let me close this. And this one here, oops, I need to close this again. So I'm gonna remove this project. Yes, remove. I'm actually gonna go to the folder and delete it. I'm gonna delete it as well. So this way, there is no. So there's Android projects. It's the camera to Kotlin save photo. Yes, there we go. Kotlin save photo. I'm going to delete. Yeah, so that project has been deleted. All right, so I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to use no activity because I don't want any craft that I should really use an empty one, but Okay, I'm going to use an empty activity. I'll use an empty activity. Okay, so my application, I'll call it Kotlin camera photo. Okay, that's fine. If you notice, it doesn't let me pick the language, but I'm gonna leave everything as is because it's gonna be Kotlin. That's the preferred one for Android Studio today. It's loading up here. Okay, so it's still loading. What I've found is that it's better to let it wait because I don't want to interrupt it. So it's still running here. So while that's running, what I'm gonna do is I should be able to start on a few things. For example, it gave us I don't know if it'll give us a layer. Hopefully, a layout. I don't understand why this takes so long. Oh, I guess because I didn't use the no activity because I guess it's running this specific activity. So that's fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if it has yeah, here in res here it has a layout. So it doesn't have a layout, so I'll need to add a layout. So come on, take. Finally, jeez, is it done? Not yet. Okay, so startup configuration. I'm thinking, wow, this is okay, it's finally done. Okay, so what I need to go ahead res. You see, there's no layout. So what I need to do is I need to add a layout. So you go to new and resource directory, and then you see here in store values, you check layout, and then click OK. Then the layout, right click, new layout resource file, and I'll just call it activity underscore main. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually change it, and I'll go back to see our guy here, and it's using a frame layout. Okay, so it does give different answers because I remember the answer it gave before was different. Okay, so that's maybe this time it'll actually work. I also find that I have to use Control C to copy, so get rid of that. So there's no errors. This is very good. Okay, before there was errors, so this is very good, right? Or maybe because I chose the empty activity. Okay, so that's our activity main. So I even named it the same way. Next, we're going to go to our manifest file. I wonder if it read my article, then it made these changes. Okay, so we go to our manifest file here, and we need to tell it that it uses it's going to need the permission to use the camera. Now, you can already see there's a red here. It doesn't explain that here at all. It just says add to your camera, add the camera permission to your manifest file. Now, the first thing you notice is this red here, so it's going to be a problem. So if I right click on this, context is going to say you need to either do this, implemented or unsupported, or you need to add a user. So I'll click on the add a users. So it does that, then that takes care of that. That's funny because it actually gave this I guess a different answer every single time. Anyway, so let's move on. So that's our Android manifest. And it explains all this, so you can read that. Now, it says here you might need to add some things to your Gradle KTS file. I don't think I need, because I think in this version Android Studio automatically fills this information for me. But we'll come back to that. So next, it's saying, which is this the helper file? Oh yeah, so this is our activity. So I'm just gonna. Can I make this a little bit smaller? So yeah, there we go. So see if I can do half screen. Yes. Oh, that's even better. Okay, so. All right, so what I want is, I want the main activity. This is the one, this is our main activity. So I'm gonna leave that there. Everything else, actually, Let me see what else is there. I might need some of this stuff. I'm going to delete all of that. And I'm going to copy this activity instead. So, see, copy it twice. Okay. This is the unfortunate thing, is that I can't, there's no easy way to copy, or maybe there might be a way to save it to a file, I'm not sure, but. Okay, and there's an override. Okay, so as we can see here, I'm getting some, and this is indented properly. Okay, I'm getting some weird, see some of these errors. Now, so as you can see, there's already problems here. Now, the first problem is, you see this one, Android X, app compatibility. Now, this is because it's missing in the Kotlin thing, so we can add that later. And the comment helper, that's another one. See the content view, set content view. This one, I don't know why that's not working. So there's a problem with, there's something missing up here, obviously. So it's most likely this app compatibility, which we'll fix that later. And if some of this stuff is actually not being, it's like the log. I don't know why that's there. And as you can see here, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff here that's not missing. So should I even continue? I will, just to let you know that it, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that Kotlin file and I'll add this, because I'm trying to do this as a beginner, like somebody doesn't know anything about programming. So I'm just following the instructions. So I'm going to go to the build Grado KTS file. So they're here. There's two of them. One is the project one. So if you don't know which one is, you can just go to both of them. So clearly it's not this one. And then there's this one, the module. This is the one you want. So if you go here, it says Android. So in here, so it's telling us to put it in here. You see there's, we look for compile option. So we have it here. And so it says version 1.8, Java 11, and target compatibility is 11. So should I change this to 1.8? Because this is probably going to change. So, and then it says kitty of options 1.8. So, okay, fine. I'll change this to 1.8. Maybe because 1.8, and I'll change this one to 1.8. Okay. Maybe mine is just too new or something. Okay, so set it to 1.8, 1.8. Okay, I followed the instructions here. Okay, this is saved. And then let's go back to our, and close this one, it's not even being used. Go back, we need this. So, nothing. So, I can tell you that if I was a beginner, I wouldn't know where to go next. Now, I know, I said I know how to fix this, but I'm just saying that I'm just taking the code as a beginner. I'm trying to learn how to program, and this is not clearly not going to work. So this is a fail. It looks pretty good, but it's still a fail. Now, just to be fair, maybe this, I can fix this later, but let's say that is the problem. But so let's go look at the other one, the helper file. Up here. Let's also go do the helper file. Okay, so let's go create another camera 2 helper. So I'll copy this, and we go in here. And which one was it? This one, I think it was. Yes. So then you say something like, let's create another new class. Oh no, sorry, not Java. I need a new Kotlin class. That's correct. It's a class. What name? It's camera 2 helper. So it created the camera 2 helper for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all this. Okay. Copy that. Copy that. And the last part here. I don't know why that's commented out and added it. And then I'll sync the Gradle changes, because remember I changed it to 1.8. So this one actually works. Okay, so that, okay, there's no errors here. Very good. Actually, there's one here. There's 11 errors it claims. Oh, import. Import. Okay, so this one is still an error here. I don't know why. Okay, and then let's go back to our main here, and it's still a problem. So, so in this one, I consider this a fail. So that's a fail, right? That's a fail. Okay, so we can move on. I'm just going to close this. Not even going to bother. Yes. So that was a fail. Okay, we're not done yet. Now let's go back to our AI friend here and ask them something simpler. I said, I need a Blender blend file for fire animation. Okay, so while that's running, I am going to put this here. So I was actually surprised. This answer is actually better than before, because it says I can't create a Blender blend file directly for you as a large language model. I don't have the capability to execute Blender or create files. That's true. However, I can guide you through the steps to create a fire animation Blender. I can also provide the necessary information. So this is actually probably a better answer, because before it actually provided me with it created actually it generated a Python using the a Blender Python API, and that failed as well. But this is a much better answer, because that answer it gave me before was technically incorrect, because it also used some old, I guess, API methods which do not work. So let's follow this right down to a T and see if it will create our file. Now I'm not going to say anything, but the way to create the fire animation has been the same, I think, since the Blender 3 series. So let's follow this. Okay, so I'll open up Blender. We technically don't need this anymore, so I'll open up Blender. I'll hopefully split it. Yeah, that works. So let's follow these instructions. Unfortunately, again, with Blender, I can't really zoom in an area. It doesn't have a dynamic font zoom. Okay, so it says open Blender, start the Blender. You see the default cube, which I deleted. Okay, so it says selected. It's already selected, and hit delete, which I did, so it's gone. Then it says add a domain, go to add mesh cube. Okay, so we go, so something missing here. You have to be in the object mode, by the way. So you go to add mesh cube. Then it says there will be bounding volume, there will be a bounding volume, the container for your fire animation. Scale up to a reasonable size. I don't know. Okay, make it large enough to contain an area. Okay, so I'm going to scale up. If I remember correctly, scaling is it S? Yeah, the S. And then I think okay, there we go. Okay, so that's big. Apply scale, important with the cube, press Control A. Okay, I've already done that. Add a source, add a smaller object that will act as a fire source. UV sphere or a small cube for this. So I'll go add, and I'm going to add a, what did it say? UV sphere. UV sphere, here we go. So you see that that's a UV sphere. It doesn't say where, so I'll just leave it. Then it says select, so I've selected the cube. Add a smoke, go to physics, properties. So here, I know one of this is physics, particles, physics. Here you go, physics. Then it says the icon, look at scrolling crowd. Or click quick smoke. What did it say again? Select a domain, go to, the icon looks like a scrolling crowd. It's a cube, that's correct. This will be adjust the domains. I'm definitely in the physics. Oh, that's particles. It's physics. Did it say I need to select the large cube, the icon? There's no quick. This will set the basic smoke animation. Click this quick smoke. So there's no quick smoke here. I don't know if I know there used to be a quick smoke in the older versions, but there's clearly not one in here. Yeah, there's nothing in here. So I think there's something missing. Maybe it's my version. So there we go. I'm going to, unfortunately, I have to call this a fail as well, because there's no quick. Let me just make sure. Yeah, see, I have to add a body or something to it. So these are the only options here. And you see, I clearly went to physics. It says particles, and then it says physics. So physics here, and these are the only options I have. I can give it one of this. Maybe, let me do a search. What was it called? It said quick smoke. I think it said quick smoke. Yeah, there's no smoke here. Am I actually in physics again? Yeah, so I'm in so I can add one of these ones, but I can't add the the other presets, so it's not there. So I'm going to stop there because I said I'm doing this as a beginner, and that's another fail. So there we go. So that's a fail. I'm going to actually do something interesting here. I'm going to ask the same question again. This time I will just see if it'll give a different answer. Okay, so come on. It was, and you see what happens when I maximize this. It's I guess the text is just scaled. So it's taking its sweet time. Oh, that's hilarious. The same question, and look what it did this time. It actually created a blend file. Wow, that's interesting. So different answers. I didn't expect that. So that's actually good, because what I'm going to do is let's see if it explains the, so it does explain it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is this, the improved provides a complex for creating a fire. Okay. So that's interesting. So it explains all this stuff here. Let's actually copy this. I'm going to copy everything. I'll copy everything and I paste it into, so let me create a file here, terminal. I'll create another file, say touch. I'll call it gaia.py. Then I'm going to paste everything in here and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay. So when you paste the stuff in your text editor, the first part for the code is really, really nice. It's nice and simple, but then it puts all the instructions and they're not formatted properly. So I know where to delete. So what I'll do is I'll just go and delete this part here. So create the domain and all this stuff. So this doesn't actually save the file. You can uncomment it to save the file. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just copy this code here as is. I'll copy this, and do I still have Blender open? Okay, I close Blender. I'll open up Blender again. Oop, not in the search. Where that up? Blender. There we go. Open up Blender, and what I'll do is I'll go to the scripting tab here, and can I just paste? Okay, I'll just create a new file. Actually, I don't want to create the new file. I want to open a file. So delete that. Open the file I just created. Generative-AI. Here we go. So this is the file, and I'm going to run it. I'm going to run it and see if there will be any issues. Okay, so let's run it. And you see it says Python trace back most recent call line 31. So if you go to line 31, you see it says PS type equals emitter. That doesn't exist. So this is the problem is that some of this code is dated. Not necessarily a bad thing, I guess, if you use an old version. So I think one of the problems with AI, as you just noticed, is that if a programming language such as Kotlin, even Python, even PHP, is that obviously they change after I don't know, at least half a decade. They keep on changing. Some things can be deprecated, some things change or get moved around. And this is the problem, is the AI doesn't understand it. Now, the good thing about the Kotlin, it says 1.8. So if you let it, if it could tell us what version it came up with the code, then that would be easier, because if we get that version, the more likely it will be successful. But, so I'll let you come to your own conclusions. Do you think AI is at a stage right now where we can replace programmers? We know the answer to that. I have my own opinion, and obviously I'm going to be very opinionated on that. I'll give you an example. So when I was looking for Kotlin, when I searched in I was looking for some code snippets because I don't know Kotlin. I was trying to learn Kotlin. I wanted to use the camera 2 API. There were very few results that came up. There was one that came up with, there's a lot of code, and I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Then I was looking at code, I'm thinking, that code looks a little bit familiar. I'll tell you what happened. Because the code it actually gave reference, and it says references from Adobe. I'm thinking, Adobe? Adobe does Android development? I'm thinking that doesn't make sense. So when I click on the link to go to the Adobe, the code was actually for Flash. Yes, Adobe Flash. So the AI grabbed some code for Adobe Flash, and it claimed that that was for Android Kotlin development. Now, there might be similar structures, whatever, but they're clearly different. And obviously it didn't work, so it was a fail. Anyway, so is Gai horrible? No, it's actually, as you saw, it's free, open source. I said, unfortunately, I can't read the manual, so I'm not sure where it gets its solutions from. But it's if you want to start, I'm guessing if you want to start pretty simple things, like for example, if I say I need Kotlin code snippet for a hello world program. So something like this, which is very, very simple, just a few lines of code. Remember, like the PHP. You see? This one, I don't even need to run it. I know this will work, right? But I'm guessing when you ask it to do multiple things, it's going to be problematic. So if you want to learn, I guess it's not a bad way to learn. But as you can see, it still lacks things. I think one of the problems is when with this so-called language models is that they do not. The artificial intelligence is, let's be honest, it's a joke. When I was a kid, somebody explained to me what artificial intelligence is, or what intelligence is. So what intelligence is that, for example, take a look at a baby. You teach that baby simple things like how to talk and anything, pain, anything. So that kid will be able to go and teach its peers, like other kids or even people older, and it will learn, and that's learning. So that's intelligence. The problem with the computer is I can give it all the knowledge of the world. And yes, it's going to be smarter than literally every single human who's ever lived or will live. The problem is it doesn't learn. It can't go and teach somebody else like this. You see, that's the problem. So it's not intelligent. Yes, it has all the information, but that doesn't make it intelligent. I'm not talking about street smarts. I'm saying it doesn't know how to use that intelligence. It doesn't know that, this version of PHP code is very old. It doesn't know that. That's something, those things you learn as when you're an intelligent being. You take the knowledge you have and you can use it to improve or to learn in the future by yourself. It can't learn by itself. So in that particular case, I think they should come up with a different term instead of calling it intelligence, because it's not intelligence. Okay, so that's the end. So it looks like my article that I wrote here was actually very accurate. In that, let's go look at the results. I think I don't know if the results are here, up or down. Okay, here we go. So here's the result. It actually accurately answered Olivier Chow as the mayor of Toronto. It accurately provided PHP code snippet to connect to the MySQL database. It accurately refused to generate a 1080p screenshot of the GNOME desktop environment because it's a text-based API lacking copying ability. So I want to add something to this, is that in this version that we ran today, it also gave suggestions where I could get the screenshot that I desired. So these three, 100% so far. Then when we came here, it produced inaccurate, outdated Kotlin code snippet to open the camera using Camera 2 API. So that was a fail, as you saw. And then here, it also produced outdated Blender Python API code snippet for the fire animation. Remember, the first answer it gave me actually explained how I can make my own fire animation in Blender, and that was also outdated. So out of this, I would give it a 3 out of 5. Maybe even today, because this was actually this, yeah, so it's still a 3 out of 5. And I think that's the end. And you can see I also have I took screenshots here explaining. And you see with this screenshot, I also tried to fix it, and I said it still failed because it was too outdated. Okay, and you can see here with the Python code why it failed, at least the one at the timing when I actually ran it. And I also tried, as you saw today, I also ran it from the command line, and I also ran it from the Blender script itself. The reason I prefer the Blender script than running a command line is because some of the things are not available if you run it from a command line, but run it inside Blender itself, they will be available. So when I ran it, it still failed. That's a fail. Okay, and as you see, everything used today is open source. The Android Studio is open source. It's run under the Apache license. Kotlin itself is also licensed under the Apache license. Android itself, it's under the Apache license, but for the user space software. But the kernel is under the GPL version 2 license. PHP license is under the PHP scripting language. Python itself is under the Python software license. These are permissive licenses. GNOME, that is under the GNU GPL version 2 or later. It's a copyleft license. Blender itself is under the GNU license as well, version 2 or later. That's a copyleft. PyGai, as you saw, it's licensed under the GNU version 3, GPL version 3, and that's also copyleft. So for all of these applications and software, languages, and everything I use today, all of them do allow commercial use, modification, dispute, and making derivative proprietary. Just consult the license for more specific details. And you can install a PyGai application by compiling from the source code or downloading binaries of your choice. So what I did, I installed it from a Flatpak, a FlatHub, which already compiled into a binary. So Python is a dependency for PyGai. So PyGai did understand my request and answered promptly, so that's a bonus as well. So since we're at the end of this tutorial, I want to let you know that every day I do have a live stream. You can visit ojambo.com, go to the watch menu, then live sub menu. You can see the current and upcoming live streams and the channel they'll be on and the approximate date and time. Also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more frequent content. If you enjoyed this, consider supporting me. Purchase one of my WordPress plugins at ojambo.com, enroll in programming courses at ojamboshop.com, buy my programming books on Amazon, search for Ojambo, links in the description. Hire me for your programming app development needs at ojamboservices.com. And even better, you can become a donor at ojambo.com/donate. The donate button is also up here in the fixed header. Okay, so I am checking the chat. I don't see any chat requests, so I'm going to end it here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.